Components of fitness: strength, maximal force you can apply against a load; flexibility, capacity of a joint or muscle to move through its full range of motion. The degree of flexibility can vary around the body. Aerobic endurance, the ability to exercise continuously for extended periods without tiring. Muscular endurance, the ability of a muscle or group of muscles to sustain repeated contractions against a resistance for an extended period of time. Body composition, percentage of body weight that is fat, muscle and bone. Physiological changes. Hypertrophy, the growth and increase of the size of muscle cells. This happens when, during exercise, the muscle tears slightly in many small places and over time repairs bigger. This happens due to the body's need to repair itself. Decreased resting heart rate. Resting heart rate is the amount of beats per minute while at a complete rest. Increased fitness means decreased resting heart rate through a stronger heart muscle with the increased volume of blood. Increased muscle tone. When the muscle contracts and continuously builds over time, this happens through the muscle's resistance to passive stretches. This is because through the resistance and hypertrophy, the muscle builds in shape and size. Increased stroke volume. The heart prolongs filling with blood, allowing more blood at a higher pressure to be ejected. This often results in a lower resting heart rate as the heart is stronger in a bigger muscle. The FIT principle has 4 different components: frequency, intensity, time and type. The frequency of exercise needs a fine balance to provide enough stress to help the body adapt and allow enough time for healing and adaptation. The intensity of exercise defines the amount of effort that should be invested into a training program. There must be a balance between intensity that is just enough to overload the body and not too much to cause any severe problems. The time principle relates to how long you should be training for and how long until the extra effort and time only returns minimal or no benefits. The type of exercise dictates what you're trying to achieve and what is best for each session. PAR-Qs, otherwise known as Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire, is a simple self-screening tool that can be used by anyone to start an exercise program. They have simple health and lifestyle questions on them. They are used by trainers to determine the safety of each exercise routine for the participant. PAR-Q helps keep participants safe by informing not only the trainer but said participant about any medical problems they should seek help for, as well as contraindications. Risk assessments are a very systematic way to record and evaluate every and any risks to an activity or place. The risk assessment's aim is to prevent loss, damage or injury in the workplace. They're a fundamental requirement for businesses. Employers must look at all work activities that could cause harm in order to decide whether they are doing enough to meet legal obligations. Risk assessments are a very systematic way to record and evaluate every and any risks in an activity or place. Their aim is to prevent loss, damage or injury in the workplace. They are a very fundamental requirement for businesses and employers. They must look at all work activities that could cause harm in order to decide whether they are doing enough to meet obligations. It should include every person who could be affected by that activity or room. Minimising participant injury. Participants need to fill out a PAR-Q medical questionnaire in lifestyle form, as it helps trainers understand any problems the participants may have. Filling out informed consent means that no member may undertake any activity without first having the knowing consent of a client who is in a position to exercise their free power of choice. This keeps not only the participants safe by helping them fully understand every possible risk, but also the trainer. Checking the training environment can prove vital in the safety of participants. If a piece of equipment became faulty or there was another obstacle in the way of training, injury could happen that would be avoidable. Ensuring the trainer is qualified means asking for certificates or going through a gym or business. This ensures less injuries as the trainer knows how you should train. Most of the time, they're also qualified in first aid. Checking that the client is dressed appropriately and that they don't have any injuries is important, as it helps the client stay safe during the exercise. The correct clothing will ensure that no injuries due to improper footwear, jewellery or clothes. Any injuries should be known by the trainer so they can adapt their routine if the participant cannot use a leg or an arm, for example. This helps the participant stay safe as they're not further injuring any parts of their body that already is so. Conducting a full warm-up and cool-down. This preps the muscle for exercise and stretches them after so they are less likely to tear or rip. The Exercise and Fitness Code of Ethics has 5 key principles: rights, relationships, personal responsibilities, professional standards and safe working practice. It outlines that the trainer's role is to identify and meet the needs of individuals, improve performance and fitness through safe and effective programs, create a motivational environment, act with respect, and finally to maintain and develop your personal competence. These rights are so important as with any professional and client relationship, there should be rules and guidelines to ensure safe work and practice. As a fitness professional needs to keep the participant and working area safe and up to standard, it is important to follow the code of ethics. Contradictions in sports. Contradictions is a difference in two statements, beliefs, or ideas about something. That means they cannot both be true. Parkours aim to minimise any contradictions and risks that aim to prevent exercise, to eliminate any factors. If a client presents a contradiction, such as any one given in a parkour, the best code of conduct is to put off or reschedule your training time until a further date to help the recovery. A warm-up is preparation for physical exertion by gently practicing beforehand. There are different types of warm-ups: dynamic, stretching and static. A general warm-up should consist of a light physical activity such as walking, jogging or skipping. Both intensity and duration of the warm-up should be governed by the fitness level of the participating athlete. Specific warm-ups are used when you are only training one part of your body. During a warm-up, your body rises 2 to 3 degrees. When the body is heated, it allows muscles to stretch further. There is an increase in blood flow, meaning there is more oxygen getting to the muscles. It preps your heart and muscle for upcoming exercise. The different activities are done to warm up. Pulse raises are the first part of a warm-up and can be any activity which gradually raises the heart rate. Jogging is a good example. Working on joint mobility is highly recommended before any workout to reduce resistance to injury. Dynamic stretching is an ideal as the core of the warm-up. It activates the muscles the participant will use during exercise. A cool-down is an easy exercise done after a more intense activity to allow the body to gradually transition to a near resting state. The key parts of a cool-down are gentle movements and exercises and long hold, low intensity static stretching. During a cool-down, the participant should gently stretch to ensure there is not a build-up of folic acid in one place. Heart rate decreases and circulation increases. This is to put your body back in an almost pre-workout state. Lowering of the heart rate involves a cardiovascular type exercise, high to low intensity, and ensuring it lasts roughly 5 minutes. Maintenance stretching is one of 2 types that should be done during a cool-down. Maintenance is used to return the muscles to a pre-exercise state, is stretching to a point of discomfort and resting. The other type is developmental stretching. This is to elongate the muscles after a workout by holding them in a position for 10 seconds and releasing.